Greetings in the mighty name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I the First, Jah Rastafari, and I Divine Mother Empress Menen. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in I sight, O Jah. Greetings, ones and ones. Give thanks again for the time, lending ear to I word sound. As usual, you know I word sound. It's always I speak through the lens of Rastafari. And this word sound here is in relation to some previous word sound I introduced to the space. And this one here is, I guess you could have called it the summarize or the culmination of the previous ones in relation to it, starting from when I express or call up the one we may call him the intellectual black traitor and some other names I express Thomaso. Now I purport to be no scholar, but when I speak through the lens of Rastafari, because I know Rastafari, I guess and spell about Rastafari, and when I speak Rastafari, I draw a correlation for the knowledge. Therefore, the young lions them and the lioness them we are trod. Whenever time them get into themselves and embrace Rastafari, them know exactly what Rastafari represent. Now, there are some within them vibration, the previous vibrations, I will revisit some words, so key points why I think is necessary, and also reason upon where I call the house slave mindset and the field slave mindset, and also draw in relation to them two there for sure you say both of those psychology have its root into slavery and the vestiges of slavery, because I'm only for things even the divisiveness between I, especially in the diaspora, the root cause are inner slavery, regardless to what others may want to say, and the intellectuals they might want to be dismissive and want to label and say your race also victimology. You know what I mean? Whether you want to feel guilty about that or not, the fact is and the truth is you are a victim of slavery. And not just slavery, because we have to be specific. The European brand of slavery, what them call chattel slavery. So, make we revisit and express some key points within. No. Yes, it is a fact. Africans participated in the diabolical enterprise called the transatlantic slave trade. The African's construct of slavery is totally different from European. The African did not take away your humanity or subject you to state of animal. European slavery strip you of your humanity, even to your children's children, to death. Then they created their system of white supremacy to justify their unchristian-like behavior. Jim Crow segregationist policies after they claim they abolished slavery. Yes, slavery is an Asian practice world over, but the diaspora experienced a unique brand from Europeans called chattel slavery. No other slave practitioners utilized this kind of slavery. Only was used on the diaspora, and I endure this brand of slavery. And I will never forget this. Stop trying to broad brush and intellectualize away our experience as common practice. No other nation was stripped of the identity like the African diaspora, turning human beings into the literal status of animals again. The Slavs did not lose their identity. Then they went from slavery to imperialism. Imperialism is domination of one country over another, politically and economically, sometimes culturally. The era of imperialism is from 1760 to 1940. Imperialism, expansionism, colonization, settling control of indigenous areas like Africa, where European powers like Portuguese, Spain, French, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, Great Britain, England, Italy divided up amongst themselves during the Berlin Conference, 1884 to 1885, called the Scramble for Africa. Colonialism is settlement for exploitation economically that benefits the colonizers, or you can call it imperial domination. To take root, taking away and taking control of Africa's resources and continued dominance through neo-colonial practices are economic and political strangulation even after so-called independence. Now, with that being said now, we can really look now where I mentioned the house and the field slave and extensively define through I perspective. Now, after doing so, retrospect, I have to draw clarity, and the clarity is this, is that there's no separation between the field slave and the house slave, because both of them are one set of people. However, their mind, the disconnection of their mind from who they are, and this cause a division. But I are one people, and I have to get it. This is what Rastafari is about, for draw a correlation and for unify and centralize I mindset into oneness, because that's Rastafari is about. That when I always mention Caribbean African unity, this is what I express. I need to go get back into the one mindset. And yes, I can't make excuse about the past, because the past is what it is. But nonetheless, we have to use the past to rectify the future and ensure that what we're experiencing in the past don't repeat itself. And this is where Rastafari I manifest when I speak Rastafari. And the root cause for the house slave and the field slave is slavery, whether you want to agree or not. And now, out of that, even the division, like I just mentioned, the scramble for Africa, come out of colonization, imperialism, domination. And that again is a whole different level of psychology again. But I speak Rastafari right now to the diaspora, because this is the space where I was brought to. So I don't want to be confused, and this is why, as best as possible, I try to draw, or when I use certain terms, I try to give or define it as best as I can. So ones and ones, the young lion and the young lioness, them can overs, and they don't be fooled or allow themselves to be tricked, not even by ones that look like black skin, because like I mentioned before, they are the first hindrance. And them come in a many form, but most of all, they are always representing themselves as intellectual juggernauts. And one would tend to want to listen to them because of them scholastic portfolio. But nonetheless, I stand for where I say, and I now move off of it. Because when I speak Rastafari, it's not just emotion, it's from a historical observation. I'm going to show you an example where ones and one see it every day and overlook it. I'm going to show you, say, the European mindset work on division, divide and rule. Even in a everyday, like more time I watch a TV series, a police show on TV, and them have a style wherein them arrest someone, and when them interrogate the person, you have one of the police them will pretend like him bad, and one of them pretend like him good. But both of them have one agenda. And the one agenda is to get the accused to confess to the crime so them can solve the case. And the reason why I mention that again, I just draw a correlation to give examples. The reason why I mention that is to show you, say, it doesn't matter when them present, whether them want to call themselves liberal or good, and the end result is always to their benefit and protecting their interests, while pretending like the liberals, while pretending like them have tried have your best interests as a good cop, bad cop. What you want to call them racist, like we label Donald Trump today, or Biden. You know what I mean? These people are one and the same. And the only thing they care about is their interest, and they will exploit you and they will trick you into believing them care about you. So when I speak Rastafari, I mention certain things, it's not about feelings. It's historical observation, observing these people. And when you know your story, you see the pattern. There is a pattern, and it don't start now. Because often you will hear I repeat this, and I say, it's from even at the biblical times. And this is why when I hear I mention about think tank, these are the things that they do in their think tanks. And I always fall victim. So when I speak Rastafari, I want the ones and ones them to know, say, yo, you have to know yourself, knowledge yourself. I don't want you to be educated. Because educated is about continuing their program. They're training you to operate within their program. That's what education is about. Knowledge of self, when you have knowledge of self, you can build and destroy, and you can create your own. And this is what Rastafari, when I speak Rastafari to the young lion and lioness, it's because I want you to get in a knowledge of self. Know yourself. Don't get away from these people with them soft, the nice one, them or the bad one, them. It's one thing and one thing only. It is for their best interest. When I mention about when them coming them abolition was not about you. Abolition was about saving their empire and their interest. Because when the Asian beat up the French them, and we can go back even back to the Maroons them. The Maroons if they had continued, Jamaica wouldn't be under British rule. Just like how Haiti, but nonetheless, here it is now, is that whenever time one European powers is in trouble, them come together to make an example out of the ones that pose the biggest threat to them, like how Haiti, and how Haiti still pay the price today. These things are not just happening, these things are by design. They fear singular black unity, the force of blackness in a oneness, one accord. They don't want that. And this is why they have these black intellectuals are represent and I try dissuade and I try slant your mindset from connecting back. Because this is what they're more upon, always disconnecting you from the greater, the black space, the Ankh Nation continent, what them call Africa. Because once I and I, it don't make the geography separate you. One mindset. No, I and I as the diaspora and the continent have to come back into that one reality, because it's division, it's tribalism, cause I and I to be in this position. Because if I and I was one, there's no way they could have play one against the other. Just like how we mentioned again with them label the house slave and the field slave. The house slave and the field slave are one people, black. For lack of better word, they're black. But they want to call themselves a field slave or a house slave, you're black. And at the end of the day, you will pay the price when they deem it so. And no matter how much you do for them, this is speaking directly to the out, no matter what you do for them, anytime them deem that you are not operating, and a perfect example of that operating within what they want you to do, like Martin Luther King, because he's a perfect example, you know. This is a man who exposed Christian values right across the board. But the moment him start speak truth and identify certain practices with them, you know, him get a gunshot. And you can't find a better example than Martin Luther King. And then them turn around and give him a holiday for mock with. I for want you to continue for like be a passive be passive like Martin Luther King. Even though Martin Luther King was more passive aggressive. You know what I mean? But him just that intellectualize and try to articulate the issues that they are imposing against his people, and I try to show you, say, yo, in the Christian brotherhood we are one people. But that's where the mistake is. These people not dealing with no one, it's a survival. And it's their survival versus yours. And they will exploit and take everything that they can for you for their survival. And you, them try to trick you with this all-inclusive love. And hide behind the banner of love. They don't operate in love, because let's be frank and real. Slavery is over 500 years. And if they was about love, they would have addressed the things that what slavery caused us, the pain that slavery caused. They have never done anything. They have not done anything for us from then until now. We always have to fight. Everything that we have accomplished from then until now is by our own merits. It's not because they gave it to us reluctantly. Them acknowledge, because they have no choice, because we are so powerful. Parasitical relationship they deal with in us, and parasitical attachment, because they continue staying next to us, because everything that we create, they take it for them benefit, and you get a little bit from it. And this is why I mentioned music, rap music, reggae music, all our music. They are making billions while you get millions. They're making billions while you make billions, and that is not this, that's yours. But why? Them have the means and wherewithal to market and distribute your thing. Because you don't have none of them things. That they sit in the seat of power, and you have to keep asking and begging them to do for you. You don't need to beg them. The earth is the land of fullness thereof. And this is when I tell you, say, continent and diaspora, all we have to do is get back in a one mindset. You don't have to run go back to Africa. But you can know, say, you're African in a Jamaica or in America or anywhere, black skin, the diaspora, the extent of birth, the extension of the diaspora, anywhere you're there, you are African, and you are different African struggle or African cause. As one time them not call it Pan-Africanism. You know what I mean? The Pan-African mindset still, but I read a Rastafari culminate and take on all of those ideas and put it under one umbrella. So when you say Rastafari, man, you know, say you speak to your divine, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Jah Rastafari. And when you hear I say Empress Menen, I Divine Mother, you can't have a God without a goddess. And I and I is the children representing the divine blackness. Because once you have your God, difference between them, let me repeat this again. God is the knower and the doer. Man is the obeyer. So when you can, that's why them keep in the state of man, like a man, make you think like a man. Enter back into your divine space, and this is what Rastafari I give. When Rastafari tell you, say you're a Rasta. Now me I say you're a ruler. And this is what Rastafari is about. Some don't want to get it twisted. And like I say again, intellectual black skin like Thomas Sowell is objective because he live in a fear and he don't want to lose the little privilege that he had garnered through intellectualism, because he's an intellectual juggernaut and he's very informative, but at the same time his information is disingenuous. You see me I say? And this is when I and I speak. I mean, he's not the only one. And when I and I mention Obama, Condoleezza Rice, and all of these are billboards for you to emulate, but disconnect you from what? Your African self, your Ankh Nation self, your Ankh Nation spirit. And this is a Rastafari comfort to realign you, restore you, retire to that divine black self. This is why I and I say Rastafari. This is what it's about. So yes, one, I not approach you to be an intellectual. I and I come to speak Rastafari through the lens of Rastafari for I and I. Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Nobody else. I and I own. Because it is because of slavery why I and I have declared Jah Rastafari. Because they took everything and I and I have to restore and realign and reconnect to I and I identity, which is the black space, which I and I postulate the Ankh Nation continent where most are not called Africa. This is what Rastafari is about. So yes, ones and ones. Until such time, no say Rastafari are yours, none can take it. Organize and centralize. Know who your God is. His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I the first. Jah Rastafari. Empress Benin and I Divine Mother. Reason being, only because you declare it so. You don't need no permission. Sovereignty of mind. And yes, repatriation is a must. You see me I come from? And that space is the Ankh Nation continent, the black space. The carbonated space what them call Africa. Because everyone else are running in an attack and I and I alone are trying to disconnect them, try to disconnect you from who you are. When the diaspora on the continent lock in, let me show you an example. See my face here? This are you. Africa. Ankh Nation Africa, the face. This is you. Which one more powerful? And if you join forces, who more powerful than you? None. No matter where you see around the world. Because every one of them come back to you. Come back to your divine space. The physical land space where I and I call Ankh Nation, where them call Africa. Every one of them are running there. Most of the technology in the world, the natural resources come from your motherland. The space where you are trying to disconnect, but when them want you disconnect from. And this is why them continue and then divide and rule. This is why when them apostolate now and use ones like Thomas Sowell try to tell you, say, are you sell yourself in a slavery. For disconnect you so you can hate Africa. Divide and rule. And come back again like come back again to the old slave and fees. Divide and rule. We are one people, irrespective of the errors that we might have made. We are one people. And the field slave do what they have to do for survival. Even if them emulate. And the truth be told, a lot of things that we have learned, our learned behaviors, most of it come from them, except for the African retention, where people like the Maroons, them all over in the diaspora maintain. But most of our learned behaviors come from European. So all of the negativity where you say I and I apostolate and them a blame I and I, we learn it from them. The only thing with them do now, because you have to know history, you know. You have the monarchs, the barons, and then you have the serfdom tied to them, that are the poor white people them. But them call them Irish, Gaelic, Celtics, all of these people. And those are the aggressive white one them, were never to go under the monarchy or the band, them maintain them nationalism or them pride or them way of life. Them never to get modern, so them continue the old way. And when the domination and conquest come from the monarchs, them same one of them turn around and ship them come over in the Americas. And them come with them negative vibration. Them not call them the Romans, them not call them barbarians, them barbaric. And them turn on and put them on the front line out in the southern states to fight the Indian them. Because them know so them very aggressive. While the intellectual ones them, the monarchs them, with the money, then them come in and finance with them call themselves up in the north. All of this I feed them story. And I, because of slavery, I come in to participate in a freedom lifestyle and take on them dirty lifestyle. And that's why enough of when them blame I, when I talk about black culture, nigger culture and all these things, street culture. And them we learn it from. And only way we get to learn that is because of slavery, because we never encounter them. We would not experience these things and we would know these style. Maybe in our spirit we might have our own expression and our own dirty ways as African, but it wouldn't be where we learn from them. So I come from some of the root cause of I which is slavery. And the only way I can address this is to cleanse our mind, reclaim our mind, create I own. For I. And this is what Rastafari is about. Yes, I. So, like I said, this is why more while when I express Rastafari, I try to write down things I can articulate and for information purposes. You know what I mean? And dates and times and these things, and when we hear certain terminology like imperialism, colonialism, you know what I mean? I try to define it. Now we so that the young lion and lionism can get it. And I strip away the trick knowledge with them I work with. The invasion with them people here never start when them invade Africa. It never started in 1492. It started with thousands of years before that. It started from another time and Noah and Abraham them. And from them time they start. But them never come as conquerors. Them come on a brotherly love. And them infiltration, and them learn what them to learn, and when them get muscle up and strong, then them tear off your face because of your good myotic principles. And I saw, me give you a look at history, I saw now them come and control in the delta in Egypt, where them call themselves the Ixos. And them Ramesses did have eat up. Them go by many different names, but them are one and the same. The name might change, but are the same people them. Whether them want to go by Hurrians, Hittites, all of them are the same. Arcadians, all of them are the same. But I will get a different vibration on that. You see it, enough of I get twisted up because of the disconnection and the social engineering process. Enough of I now want to identify and call yourself Hebrew, Israelite, Moors, and all these other things, and don't want to claim the black space, the Ant Nation continent, what them call Africa. I are one people, Rastafari, oneness, one accord. This is what Rastafari is about. The reunification of I people in a oneness. And you know yourself. When you know yourself, like I say, knowledge of self. Knowledge, you can build and destroy with knowledge. So they said then. Rastafari live it and reign in a I and I itinerary. Jah Rastafari without apology.